I didn't expect anyone to be there. The library was quiet, almost completely empty. Just the tapping of my keyboard and the soft sound of distant pages turning. I liked it that way, alone, focused, invisible, but then I felt something shift. A presence, a quiet kind of attention. He walked in without a sound, noticed me, sat down just across from where I was. I didn't look up at first, but I could feel him. The kind of gaze that brushes over your skin, slow and warm. When I finally looked, he didn't look away, just smiled, the kind of smile that doesn't need words. I stood up to grab a book, just to move, to breathe, and there he was, again, leaning against the bookshelf across from me, watching, not staring, just holding that space between us. I leaned against the opposite shelf. We weren't close, but it felt charged. "Are you following me?" I asked, half smiling. He tilted his head. "If I was, would you mind?" I didn't answer. One of the books slipped from my fingers. I crouched to pick it up, and I could feel his eyes on me, low, focused, unapologetic. When I stood back up, he was still watching, still quiet, but something in him had shifted. Back at the table, he came over, didn't sit, just stood there, close enough that I could smell him. Leather, paper, skin. "Do you always look that serious when you type?" he asked. "Only when someone's watching," I replied. We ended up in the back section, old archives barely lit, no cameras, no footsteps. He sat on the edge of a table, flipping through a book. I stood near him, too near. There was a moment. He looked up. I looked back. My fingers brushed his knee, accidentally, or maybe not. His breath caught, just slightly. I leaned closer. He didn't move. No words, just the sound of air, and the way his hand rose, gently resting on the back of my head. What happened next was quiet, careful, but unmistakable. A moment stretched too far, a breath held too long, and when I finally looked up at him again, his eyes were darker. We sat there for a while, in silence, not awkward, just full. He read something aloud, some random passage. I wasn't listening to the words, only his voice, software measured, still a little unsteady. By the time the lights flickered, closing time, he stood first. "Will you be here tomorrow?" he asked. I nodded. He smiled barely. The kind of smile you feel in your stomach. He turned to leave, but then looked back just once, and that one look told me everything that didn't need to be said.